All right, last type. In the last video, we were given the center and the radius, and then the center and a point. This one, we're not given any of the information we need. We're going to be given two endpoints of the diameter. So as you see my little sketch here, again, it's not an actual representation of what we have on our slide here, but we don't know our radius. So we don't know our radius and we don't know our center. So radius we don't know. Center we don't know, but we have two endpoints of the diameter. Now, the first thing you need to find is the radius. The center is going to help us out. The first thing we need to find is the center. So we find the center. We have here our diameter, or two endpoints of the diameter. The radius, or the center, sorry, is the midpoint of the 2 points of the diameter. So we need to find the midpoint first. So you find the midpoint using the midpoint formula. Let's get rid of that completely. We find the center, which is using the midpoint formula. So we have average of the x's, 0 plus 6 divided by 2, 0 plus 8 divided by 2, average of the y's. Show all my work here. You guys show what you need to. The center of my circle is 3, 4. I need that. So I know my center now. That checks out. Then I have two endpoints to choose from. Now we're just doing what we did in the last video. We have a center and some random point on the circle. We use one of those points. I suggest using the 0, 0. 0 is easiest to use. So instead of calling this the distance, I'm just going to call it the radius, because that's what it's going to end up being. So I'm going to call it the radius using the distance formula. So I'll go 3 minus 0. I'm showing it plugged in. Again, usually showing too much work here. And then before minus 0 squared, it'd be 3 squared plus 4 squared equals 9 plus 16, which ends up being the square root of 25. I don't even care that the square root of 25 is 5. Technically, I'll write it though. I have my radius, I have my center, I plug in my information, now that I have what I need. So I go x minus 3 squared plus y minus 4 squared equals 25. As I mentioned before, that can just go there. That's why I said I don't really care that the radius is 5, unless I ask for what the radius is. But when it goes into the equation, you just got to write 25. All right, let's check out another one. All the formulas are there. So find the radius, or so the center first. Find the center first, which is the midpoint. So the center, 18 plus 4 over 2, negative 13 plus negative 3. Signs don't change. Over 2, center ends up becoming 11, negative 8. That is my center. Now, once again, I need to choose one of the points that we were given originally to pair up with my center. I'm going to use the smaller of the values. You can use either one. It doesn't matter. It's going to get you the same thing. I'm just going to use the smaller of the values to find my radius, which is using the distance formula. So again, I'm just replacing the d in the distance formula with r for radius. So that's all it is. So I'm going to go 11 minus 4 squared plus negative 8 plus 3 squared. Again, I suggest plugging it in. You guys do what you want. 7 squared plus negative 5 squared, 49 plus 25. My radius is the square root of 74. Once again, I don't care what the square root of 74 becomes. when you break it down. Use it like this. We have what we need, the center, the radius. Plug it all back in. X minus 11 squared plus y plus 8 squared equals your radius squared. Well, if you square a square root, the square of 74, so whatever's inside comes out. That's why I don't care what that breaks down into. All you need is that square root of 74 at the end. That's your answer. That's your equation.